Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Kenny's Tour Review. Today we'll do some diagnostic review, I guess. I got the Pico waveform that I took on this thing yesterday before I left. It has a really bad cadence. So right now I've got an in-cylinder pressure transducer I made myself. Or it's not really in there anymore, but it was hooked up to cylinder number 5, which is the cylinder that has a misfire, and that one does have low compression. I've changed it. That's why some stuff scribbled out here. I had a crappier pressure transducer. I got this one off transducers.com, I think was the website. It's a lot more serious. This one goes into negative pressure where this older one didn't. I shouldn't say this. This box works the same. This is just for 5 volts because the sensor uses 5 volts in. See, supply V, and then a common, and then an output, and then NC, meaning basically not used. I don't remember what the actual abbreviation stands for. I've also got my pulse sensor on the intake, and then the last probe was the current clamp, which I put on the negative battery cable. And you can see here, when it first started out, I had some sort of compression here. When I zoom in, it does seem like we're missing an exhaust valve opening for some reason. You know, right here, whereas in here, the exhaust valve is at least opening, but I've got no compression. And it's definitely not good because, you know, it's almost even with the compression spike here, but, and we'll hold on. Zoom in. It's intermittent, seems like. So I zoom in to these right here. So I'm interested about the tops. I must have hit the max of the little flat tops. I must have hit the max of the pressure transducer. I'm not sure about that. I thought this pressure transducer went up real high. I'll have to recheck that. But that's not what we're here for. We're pretty much just making sure cylinder 5 is the issue. And actually, I'll zoom in even further. I'll zoom into these right here. So you can see on the good one, right above it, this is the compression for cylinder 5, or the relative compression on the starter motor. And you're like, you know, the whole noise bit. And they're nice and even across there. And then we get over to here, and you can see there's no compression, and we're literally missing one singular hump here. And then you can see the intake pulse at the same time does a big negative dip, and then a positive pressure. And unlike over here, where it's pretty even across the board on the intake pulse, within reason. And then there's this section here, which I'd assume is because the compression stroke, so the intake stroke of that compression should be over here somewhere, and it's just not happening. So there's just a steady across the board here, and then, you know, the big gulp, which I think is actually because the intake valve, I believe, is open. So I'm thinking all the pressure is coming back in. This is the yeah, something to do with that stroke, and then it coming back through the intake, because when it's driving, you can hear a lot of almost like it, you know, doesn't have a spark plug in it or something. That's what it sounds like. But if anyone else wants to decipher this more and whatever, I'll try to get a link to this online at least, or upload the file somehow so you guys can look at it. I might put it on my Facebook or something. But yeah, it's looks pretty much like, to me, like an we with the intake valve. We're gonna do a little bit more diag. We'll probably take the valve cover off, but we are gonna look into what's available and what the price would be of doing the head job versus just doing the whole motor. If the whole motor is a cheaper job, it makes more sense with this kind of high mileage for 2018. We might not even take the valve cover off. We might just do the whole motor, because these motors do have issues with their variable valve timing. I think I'm gonna have to do a little more research this morning because I did this at the end of the day. Obviously, that's why it's still all here. I think that 2017 they started putting the cylinder deactivation on all the cylinders. I don't know, not really sure. Don't take my word for that yet. I haven't looked it up, but the older ones were 2 on this side and 2 on that side, and they were staggered for which ones there were cylinder with the little weird lifters with the springs on it. I think it was like the front one, and then the middle one, and then the second, and then not sure. Don't take my word on that either. Sorry, not taking my word on a lot. But yeah. So if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let me know if you like seeing more stuff like this, and then we can go from there. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.